All right, everyone, we have Coach Collins here. Go ahead and raise your hand. We'll start the questions. Daryl Bird, we'll leave with you.
Yeah, John, you've talked a lot of years about blocking out the noise. It seems to be a lot of noise right now. I mean, how do you go about, what is the process to actually blocking out the noise, and can a coach do anything to help a player in that process?
Yeah, the social media has made it a lot different. You almost have to shut it down. What I tell them, if you're going to read the good stuff, you need to read the bad stuff. You can't just shut it down because all of a sudden they're attacking. If you're going to shut it down, you shut it down. I call it poison, all that stuff from all forms of media or outside people trying to, it's poison. And whether, again, the poison of you're this, you're that, all of a sudden you become an arrogant player, and then you get your head handed to you. The other guy plays harder. He fights. He's in a dogfight. You think you're cute and playing that way because you're drinking that poison. So, but it's not easy. Trying to keep everything away from them. But, you know, it's part of this. And when you're at Kentucky, it's 10 times that. It can be the best thing. Then it can turn on you and be the worst thing if you let it. If you ignore both the good and the bad, you just keep marching on.
Cal, what are your impressions of Sharif Cooper, and what does he do for Auburn?
Well, you know, he's played 2 games and they're scoring like 25 points per game more. They're scoring 15 in transition with him at point. And the reason is, like some of the great guards that I've had, that ball hits his hand and it may be out of his hand within a half second up the court. What would that do to people on your team? That means they're flying, because if they get a 2-step lead, he will throw it. So the biggest thing has been that. The second thing is he sees things before they happen. He knows about what's going to happen, whether it's a pass to a lob, whether it's a skip. He's a terrific player, and we recruited him, so I know how good he is. He's got a special talent.
I know that you all talked to Justin Powell a little bit when he was at North Oldham. Just what are your impressions of him as a recruit, and then what he was doing before he got hurt? What kind of difference does he make for Auburn if he's available on Saturday?
Well, he is a terrific scorer. He scores, I know how he's shooting the ball. He's probably their highest percentage 3-point shooter, but they had him at point and he was fine. And he was scoring all kind of different ways for them. And I think with Sharif there, he'll be pushed back a little bit, but I think he'll get minutes because he can shoot. But you know, he's another one. He's a good player. They've got their young guys, can shoot it. They're athletic. They're good.
Cal, have you at any point before this year felt sort of as under fire as it feels like now? There seems like there's just every week kind of something coming at you. And I guess maybe along those lines, what did you think of the reaction to what you said the other night about the protest? And it seems like from your tweet that maybe you wanted to kind of clarify your stance on that.
The stuff of being under fire, there's always people going to question. That's what coaching is. It doesn't matter what you do. There's people going to say you could do it better or do it a different way. You could be playing man and be one of the best defensive teams in the country, and you should be playing zone. You have a big team, but you should play like you have small guys. You have a small team. Why don't you post it? I mean, it's just, if I listen to what's coming out of the stands and I listen to it, I'll be up there shortly. You just coach your team. When you focus on your team and you coach your team, and that's your focus, that stuff doesn't affect you. You know, I know that I must be getting hit some when I'm walking out of mass in the morning and the guy says, "Stay strong, coach, you're going to be fine." I'm like, what happened? Who said what? And so, you know, most of the stuff I don't see. You know, you guys could say I'm under total fire. I wouldn't know that. I mean, you know, if there's something I need to deal with, I'll ask the guys, Eric, TJ, all the guys, just, you know, what's out there? Is there something I need to deal with? So, and the only reason I responded, and you guys know I don't respond to any of that kind of stuff that's out there, but the core of who I am is caring about kids. And when that is questioned, then I gotta, anybody that knows me knows what I stand for and knows my beliefs. And it doesn't matter if I'm living in California, Texas, Kentucky, Florida, Boston, my beliefs are what they are. And, I made the statement, I stand by these kids. I believe in these kids, and they know that. So, you just, again, you march on, you do what you think is right. Doing what's right's not always popular, and doing what's popular is not always right. And that's why you got to fall back on your faith and your belief system.
Gary Simpson will come to you next.
John, it seems like Auburn's very good at rim protection, and I wonder, does that make perimeter shooting more important in tomorrow's game?
Well, they come at it, and again, their rim protection is more than one guy. It's like 3 or 4. They'll go block shots. It's how they play. But it's not like you can't go at them. The spacing of the court and all other things matter in this game. Being strong at the rim matters in this game. But I think they block shots, and I hate to tell you, I think we usually block shots too. I mean, both of us.
I wonder if when I watch Sharif, I think of Tyler Eulis a little bit.
I thought of that too. Like, he plays a lot like he played. Tyler had a little different kind of game to him, but they have similarities.
Thanks.
John Wong, go ahead.
Hey, John, I'm going to toss you a softball. You've worn your sport jacket for the past 4 games in a row. And I was wondering if we were going to see the suit and tie again. But more importantly, how do you think college basketball coaches should be dressed on the sidelines?
Well, I would tell you whatever makes them comfortable. No, I won't do any suit and tie, but I just felt I needed to feel like I was coaching again. And I was kind of feeling like this was all pickup basketball, and I wanted to feel like I was coaching. That's why I did it. I didn't do it for any other reason. But I would tell any coach, whatever makes you comfortable. And coaches dress different. I don't, if they're comfortable in a sweatsuit or a t-shirt or a pullover shirt, or, be comfortable. I'm just more comfortable with a sport coat and a pair of jeans, which is what I've been wearing.
Albert, we'll circle back to you.
Yeah, John, BJ and Sharif Cooper are really close, have been for a very long time. Sharif's off to a fast start. BJ struggles him. Are you concerned at all he's going to try to keep up with his old buddy and try and play kind of outside himself, trying to match him tomorrow?
We talked about it. So I've already addressed it with BJ. I said, you are getting better. Stay the course. You are getting better. Stay the course. For all my guys, I keep saying, if you're not playing well athletically or offensively, do what Anthony Davis did, do what Michael Kidd did. They didn't worry about it. They got it in other ways. They rebounded, they defended, they blocked shots, they get it in transition. They weren't worried about that. And then they come back the next week, let me work on this so I feel more comfortable. But BJ, he's working, he's trying. This has really been hard because some of his habits are not habits that will work at this level. or the next level. They just won't. And he knows it. He knows it. He knows he's not playing as well as he needs to.
And Spencer, go ahead.
John, could you just talk a little bit about a couple things? Adding Oscar, and when he left West Virginia, he wasn't didn't sound like Bob Huggins was exactly thrilled. Have you guys talked since all that? And it didn't sound like he was mad at you, just the situation.
Yeah, Bob and I have talked. I mean, you know, I texted him. The people that we had talked to with Oscar were Bob Huggins fans. So that's why I never picked up the phone and called him. But since then, we have talked by phone. You know, just being in that environment, being coached by Bob, and who's, in my mind, a Hall of Famer, and having that background before he comes here is good. And I loved Oscar out of high school. We recruited him, loved his effort, his intensity, all his fight. And, you know, I just said, that's what you got to bring here. You know, the most important thing will be that. And you bring all that, and we'll try to help in any way we can. We'll be about you. You be about these guys. You be about elevating everything around you here. So, you know, it was a pretty direct conversation. There was no, you know, you're going to do this, we're going to have you do this. And basically none of that. It was more about what this culture is about here. We're excited. I'm excited to have him here.
We'll take two more. John Hill first, and then Jerry Simpson.
Speaking of Oscar, Cal, just what kind of role do you envision for him in practice this year in helping Olivier and Isaiah and those guys? And has he actually joined the team? Is he here with you yet?
He's not here yet. He'll be here within the next 5 days, but he's not here yet. But we talked about that. I talked about what Ennis did and how he got Josh Harrelson to another level. You know, we even talked about, I had a guy come in to help Nick, Ben Jordan. You know, he had a job to toughen up Nick, to make it physical, to do things, to make sure your length, you're all over Nick. And now I told him, your job will be, how do I help these guys? And again, maybe with him, I take 5 guys, and those 5 are playing the top 7 or 8 guys. And we start scrimmaging that way. Even though it's late in the season, it's something that I've thought about when we get them here.
Okay, Jerry, finish us off.
Yeah, John, road teams have done relatively well in the SEC so far this season. What, if anything, should we read into that?
No fans. You know, I talked about the NBA bubble. No fans, no home advantage. You play all season to get that home court advantage, and it had no bearing and hurt some teams that would have had home court. For us, our building is, you know, you just don't win many games in Rupp Arena, and opponents don't. And now, even though we have 3,000, the building, it's a 25,000 people, and you're down to 3,000. It's a big difference. And the same with Florida, and the same with, you know, it's different. But the other side of it is, every game we play is a Super Bowl. The way Alabama played, you know, physically, emotionally, being total focused, laser focused to beat us. And when we had a chance to get back in the game, they just didn't let us. They just fought. And that's what happens when we are played. It's not, you know, we expect it to be a physical, hand-to-hand combat, you know, energy-focused game at Auburn, whether it was at home, on I-95, at Auburn, at Rupp, in Nashville, doesn't matter. So without fans, it's just, you know, mano mano. It's what it becomes. So thanks, guys.
Thank you, everybody.